This is Kathy Chase. This message goes to the director of the FBI, Robert Mueller, and the chairman, I believe his name is Mr. Petraeus, of the CIA. I do not appreciate people victimizing my life and then punishing me for it. And how can you abuse and torture an American-born citizen and how can you validate abusing me? How can they abuse me and torture me and validate that because of actions they had preliminary taken to against my life of these people? And the presidents have no responsibility whatsoever, none, because they have partiality with people that have done things to me and my children, and they are part of the problem, most likely, a big part of the problem, and they couldn't do what they did, and they're torturing me for it now using the status of presidency. You cannot do that. How do they validate abusing me and publicly abusing me when that proves their guilt? If there was something wrong with me, they wouldn't be abusing me, no. They wouldn't be torturing my body and thinking they're going to kill me because of something they initially did. How can you justify coming along and planning out somebody else's life and thinking you're going to kill them for it? And that's not quite how things work. I'd friggin' if you know, I can leave my country if the FBI or the CIA is not going to do anything to these people who abuse me every single day and think they're going to kill me illegally with a pacemaker they've already tortured me with, and that sort of thing. If they're not going to do anything about it, then I can leave this country. And there's not a darn thing they can do. They can't kill me for wanting to leave the country. I don't care what the hell these people put in my body. I'm not responsible for it. Why should I have to pay the consequences for it? Why should I have to pay the consequences for what other people have put in my body? I've already paid enough for it. And then my children, why should they have to pay the consequences for what other people have done to them in their bodies? I don't find this American at all. I find what the things I've uncovered a disgrace to this country. And I know the FBI and I know the CIA has the authority to take things into their own hands and take care of the people who are responsible for what's happened to me. And I'm tired of living in fear every day. They're always looking for excuses. They keep looking for excuses to kill an innocent victim, which is me and my children. They keep looking for excuses. And I'm surrounded by all this dysfunction and chaos and these people that slander to create more problems. And this is not how things are done in the United States of America. It's not responsible. It's irrational. It's pathetic for you to make such a scene and have are irresponsible. I don't care. Rob stated that George W. Bush and Barack Obama didn't like me. Well, he hangs out. These presidents hang out with these people. Rob knows George W. Bush. And the Bush family, there's lots of Bush people that live in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I have to deal with these people all having favoritism and socially knowing the presidents, whether personal or related, you know. And I shouldn't have to pay for my life because of favoritism and because they think their title entitles them to come into office to commit murder to make Kim's life better or Shannon's life better, because that's exactly what they're trying to do. They keep looking for excuses to try to kill an innocent victim. That makes no sense. Me and my children are victims. Rob's family shouldn't even have custody or be able to see my kids, because I'm the only other person that has rights to them. And I didn't give consent for them to do things to their bodies. And he would have had to have, and he couldn't do that without me. So I don't really know. I understand there's a lot of money involved, but and I don't know how much payoff money's going to the top of all these agencies either. I'm wondering about it. Because here I have been screaming because, well, definitions is obviously the name of the game. One of them, in musical chairs, and the Abe Lincoln double die penny in 55 county and 11 county is Oto. And, you got 1122, 22 Earth Day, Elizabeth Chase, 33, 33rd Street, and 33 times 2 is 66. 33, we got the 44th president. 55 county is Thurston, like thirsty, Thurston, like it was a camel humps or something is where they get that from. 66, as I said, Conoco, Phillips, 66, and lots of 66 evidences, definitely, for sure. And 77, well, there's 2 sevens. Rob was born in 72. 77 is a year of the snake. And the Blue Cross Blue Shield has a snake symbol. And then you got Jose Cuervo, the worm, going fishing with a Phishing. Not fishing, playing cartoons with, you fish for cans and boots. They always catch cans and boots in cartoons. And the Island of the Misfits toys. They got their ideas with this little game of theirs from the Island of the Misfits toys. The train with square wheels and the the bird that swims. I'm not even a bird and I'm not a fish. Leo the lion. Oh, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. These people are incredibly sick, and I don't know why I have had to pay for these other people's sicknesses, their mental instability, and their failure to think about only themselves. They only think about themselves and money. That's all they think about. Themselves and money. That's it. And I think George Bush did the No Child Left Behind Act. That must be a joke because of the no nonsense pantyhose and the no shoes, no shirt, no service. No way, Jose. Rosa Parks way, Rosa Breyer. That must be a joke to him because I didn't do anything to this stuff happened to my body 20-some years ago, and they think they can come around and exploit me and punish me now because they had an addition built onto the courthouse in '97 for their little plan. I don't know, these other kids did it because I worked at CBA in 1997, the insurance company. The evidences around town are horrible. They want to play powwow with me. POWMIA, powwow Indian smoke signals, and missing mistletoe in action. That's really sick. G.I. Joe, Grand Island, 8 County, Hall County. They want to play spin the bottle with my life. Spin the bottle and mistletoe and abandon me on a deserted island. Well, this is not this. I don't really like my country anymore because of favor and because people are irresponsible and all they think about is themselves. These people put a pacemaker in my body because they think that they can go around killing people if they're in the way of their life and what they want to do in life. And put other things in their bodies, in their children's bodies, because they're in the way of their lives. And they're such narcissists. I'm surrounded by narcissistic people with mental illness issues beyond control. They're out of control. And they're narcissists. They're sociopaths. And They don't want to follow the laws of this country. The presidents don't want to follow the laws of this country. So why should I have to pay for that? They can't do that. They have to follow the laws of this country. I'm not responsible for being victimized in the first place. To think that they can come along 20 years later, 20 to 30 years later, 26 to 27 years later, and start terrorizing and punish me for being victimized, and then because they made a joke about me being a pig, and so they put something in my foot because I had something in my hand, and they wanted to friggin' pick on me because I had something in my hand, intelligence in my hand, I guess. So they put something in my foot to mock me as a pig, and my grandfather's name was Wilbur, and I don't know if he was responsible for what's in my hand. And how do these people get a hold of this stuff if it's not supposed to be in my body? And why is it that I'm being punished for what other people have done? Okay, I don't think there's anything wrong with having intelligence in my body. Nothing at all, but it hasn't really served a purpose. As of this time, it hasn't served anything except for my self-defense. What good does that do if nobody's going to follow the laws? And I just wanted out of my situation alive, you know. I don't kill people. I don't put things in their bodies. I don't brainwash them or hypnotize them. I don't do, I don't plan wars against mothers and their children. You know? They want to play war games with me. And I don't want to play their games. I'm tired of their games. I'm tired. They had this all planned out. They wanted to use musical chairs from 1955. And other stuff. And frankly, if you're not going to do anything, whether, the director of the FBI, Robert Mueller, or Mr. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Petraeus of the CIA, if you're not going to do anything about these people in which think they want to kill me in a divorce court or an apartment building because I uncovered arson or some corruption around that fire. I'm pretty sure it was arson. I'm sure somebody climbed up on that deck and pushed that girl over. I'm sure of it. It was on the second floor. We lived on the second floor on the opposite side. It was a football player's apartment, and this was 4 years after the stitches in my foot. And so Keller last name, and the Helen Keller, the Christian Records, Nancy Helen Chase, capitals of cities, and they've used. And so I've uncovered a bunch of crime, and I'm abused for uncovering crimes. And that's not American. That's not how America should be. And I just want to live my life and live a normal life with my children, raise my children. I did nothing to deserve this, to have other people thinking they wanted to play God with me and my children's lives to try to determine our fates and plan out our lives for us for their egos and what they wanted to have done. Because they're traitors or they're criminals or whatever. Terrorists or something, I should say. I feel these people, some of them are just terrorists. They're anti-American terrorists. And they don't want to follow the laws of the country. That makes them a terrorist. They do things that are bad for America. That makes them a terrorist. They do some things that make us look bad as a country. That makes them a terrorist. They don't have good public relations. They think abusing people is fine in the public. That's a terrorist. That's not something we do. That shows bad moral and ethical and problems with your judgment. And Webster's Dictionary. I remember watching the Webster, the show, where he would get in the clock and climb up to his room. I don't really know what the deal is with Lincoln, Nebraska, and these people who I've known in the past, and why they think they're so much better that they can go around determining other fates of other people's lives. People from Southeast, and presidential favoritism, and presidents somewhat evolved, and all the locals know about it. All the locals know. Everything I say is true. I don't care what the Lincoln Journal-Star says on a daily basis, because they're paid to say other things. All you have to do is come here and you'll find out. This is Kathy Chase, and I really want to leave the country, and there's nothing anybody can do about it, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the abuses to my body every day. I'm tired of living in fear every day, because they want to mock the No Fear Act. Oh, No Child Left Behind Act, No Fear Act, and all this other stuff. No nonsense pantyhose. It comes in an egg. I'm not somebody you don't cook people that don't kill people with according to the electric chair being in Nebraska used for punishment, used for murderers, and I'm not a murderer. So they think they can divert to a pacemaker because of what they did to me. These people committed crimes against me, and want to play pass the blame around, and they can't logically make up anything, because there's no way they can logically say what's wrong with my life. It's because of me. It's because of them. There's nothing logical to you calling me names. There's nothing logical about you and trying to entrap me, avoid media, and do all this other stuff to me in my life. I don't know what the heck is wrong with your mentality to think that you could put things in somebody's body and 30 years later come along and play games with them and harass them and not without them even knowing about it. And then you think you can kill them for being victims? Listen to that again. I was a victim. I've been victimized in my life. I didn't know about it. Now 30 years rolls by, you think you can come along and kill me for it. There's something wrong with your thinking. It's you. The problem is you, not me. Obviously. I've said everything. People need to follow the laws, get a grip on reality, and look at the logical facts. And somebody needs to force them to look at the logical facts. I'm tired of paying the consequences for other people's irresponsible actions and to others. I'm really tired of it. And my poor children, I didn't even know about it until after I'd had them, that had been doing the same. They're doing the same thing to them. My kids are not rats for money laundering or whatever. We're not here to make other people money and suffer. You play God to make people suffer because you think you're just so much better than other people. You don't intentionally make other people suffer because you wanted to make their fate for them. Who are you to play God and try to choose the fate for me and my lives and my children who are innocent? We have done nothing wrong. We don't premeditate crimes. We don't put things into people's bodies. We don't hypnotize them. We don't premeditate murder. I've got so much evidence on you're not real, so we're going to ignore the evidence? No, I don't think that's how it works in America. I've got all this evidence all over online. You don't ignore evidence because you play favoritism and all this other stuff, or you're the source of the problem. You can't use a government office to say that it's okay to initialize or go through with a contract killing or some sort of killing or something that you planned before your presidencies or whatever would happen. You can't kill me no matter what because I am not on trial for murder. I am not on trial for murder. I'm not going to play your coercion games And I'm tired of Lincoln, Nebraska thinking this is okay, because some of them do think it's normal. This is normal behavior. No, but this is mafia behavior. This is not normal behavior. This is mafia. This is not lawful. All you have to do is look at the laws and know that everything that's gone on here is illegal. Basic laws. These people are slandering me. Well, that's in the Constitution under Amendment 6, I think, or 5. And then, slander, defamation of character, abusing me like I'm some sort of slave because we have the first African president. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of these people playing this game. They keep coming up with new excuses. You don't make up excuses. That's not the laws of this country. Then all you're doing when you try to keep making excuses to try to hurt me versus help me, you're telling the public that you want to commit murder. You're looking for ways to commit murder. That's what you keep telling people. You can't do that. It looks like a frickin' circus. You make things look like a frickin' circus, and I'm not the circus for the ringleader of the crime. I'm not your circus. You can't go try to make excuses to hurt people. And there are probably several million witnesses to this by now that you've tried to make different excuses to try to hurt me. You have never looked for reasons to help me. You never look for ways to prevent things. You never wanted to admit your crimes and your faults. And because of your mafia little pyramid schemes or whatever, not little, big pyramid scheme, you think I have to pay the consequences because you don't want to be just simply a good person, good people. Yeah, this is corruption on the highest level. Of course it is, and that's not my fault. But I shouldn't have to pay for your corruption with my life. And you don't look for people. Don't you know the laws of this country? You don't look for ways in front of the public to kill somebody. You don't look for ways to try to kill somebody versus to help them. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You don't look for reasons to commit murder. You're crazy. You are absolutely nuts. You kept changing your stories. You have just made yourself publicly guilty of trying to commit first-degree murder because your story changed. You were inconsistent. Presidents can't do that. Presidents cannot do that. You cannot change your stories to try to commit murder. You cannot change stories, your wording. You have witnesses galore to this. Inconsistency in your reasons to try to commit murder. Try to kill someone. You don't look for reasons to try to kill someone. You're telling the public you're trying to commit murder. You are directly telling the public you are trying to commit first-degree murder. You've proven yourselves guilty. You've done it over and over again. You've been doing it for 3 years now. Or 4 years. You just made yourself guilty, proving yourself guilty of trying to commit first-degree murder because you never once, that I know of, none of them never once said, well, this is how we can help her. Or you never prevented because you didn't want to prevent. Because, Rob's 39 and he's privileged according to his Russ's market card and all this other crap. You've just proven yourselves guilty of trying to commit first-degree murder. And you can't use the title of a president. If you're a government employee who's supposed to protect citizens in the United States, you can't use a government position, political position, to try to commit first-degree murder. You can't keep changing your stories to try to commit first-degree murder. You can't look for ways to try to kill someone. Presidents can't do that either. Just because you're a president doesn't make you above the law to go along and change all the laws as you see fit. You can't do that. You can't undo the Constitution. You can't undo freedom of speech and try to censor me. You can't undo all the laws and human rights laws and everything else. You just proved yourselves guilty of trying to commit first-degree murder you can even keep one story. Well, we can't keep with one story. You had to keep changing stories, and the whole public knows about it. You can't do that. And you can't use your executory. Presidents have the right to execute people, but they only have that right to do that to criminals. I'm not a criminal and I'm not a terrorist, so therefore you can't use that. And that doesn't matter anyway, because you just proved yourselves of trying to commit first-degree murder because your inconsistency with your stories and what you've told the public. I shouldn't have to pay with my life. I've already paid enough. I've had enough pain and enough torture and enough abuses in my life, and so have my children via other people thinking they can hurt my children because of what they've done to them. Not because of what I've done to them, because of what they've done to them. Trying to use them and me as a human shield because of their crimes. You don't use other people as human shields because of Blue Cross Blue Shield or the Southeast Knights Shield to justify, what the heck is wrong with you? Women and children, using women and children as human shields, women and children first on lifeboats, and doing opposite, basically wanting to kill us first because you're irresponsible and you don't know, you lack the value system. You lack knowing the laws of this country. You lack human decency. I think these people are the animals. I think they're the real animals. I think they're callous, evil, and mean, and cruel, and all the evidence says they believe they're evil. They're the devil, and the devil, yeah. These people are literally as evil as the devil, and their feet are rather hot, I'm sure, not because of fires, but because they're just evil. What they planned. They planned out my life. And I didn't give them consent to do that. I didn't give anybody consent to put things into my body or my children's bodies, and they would have had to have my consent. They didn't have my consent to use hypnosis on me that was unnecessary. And that's why I'm directing this message towards the heads of the agencies, and I'm directing this message to those that are so irresponsible, that think their egos and being so arrogant about not doing their job blatantly in front of the public because some people are better than them. I mean, some people are better than other people. That's their whole theory. Some people are socially better than other people. There's no way you can justify abusing me or killing me. There's no way. I don't kill people. I don't commit terroristic crimes. I don't hypnotize people. You can't look for ways to I know they were looking for ways to frickin' do something to my computer or something. Evidently it was George Bush or something. I don't know. Or Shannon or somebody. They were looking for ways to do something to compromise my computers and stuff. I don't do anything on my computer other than blog now. I used to chat with guys once in a while. But I don't do anything to hurt other people. I'm not a terrorist. I don't know how to do any of these things in which these other people know how to do. I don't know how to hack computers. I don't know how to hypnotize people. I don't have hypnotism programs. I was going to go to the library and get some information about how to get unhypnotized, because there's people around me that are hypnotizing my family and such are just lost. They've got people so brainwashed locally. I'm wanting to figure out how to unbrainwash people, if anything. I'm looking for ways to help people. Why they're being paid. People are trying to get them against me to pay them to hurt me. Doesn't make any sense. And what is wrong with you? I don't know what's wrong with you. You're crazy. And you can't use a government title just as an employee of the United States to try to hurt somebody and continue to look for ways to hurt people versus to help them. I'm an American-born citizen. I'm not your freaking war game, okay?